Welcome to the Palisados Foundation. The Palisados Foundation has an annual Calico challenge in which Jamaican students are provided with paid internships over the summer to work on open source projects under the guidance of a mentor. In this particular case, we're going to be talking about the Pattoo project, which is one of the projects for this year. The Pattoo project provides dashboards for businesses. Many times businesses have different types of software systems that cannot communicate with one another. Management teams find it difficult to compare and contrast data from different sources, and Pattoo has been designed from the ground up to be flexible enough to provide data from these various sources all on a single web page. And Pattoo can track various types of data, ERP systems, computer servers, air conditioning systems, electrical infrastructure. As long as the data is accessible to an agent, then the data can be tracked and put into the centralized Pattoo database. Now, how does Pattoo work? The agents, as I mentioned before, collect data. In this particular case, you can see that they're collecting data from ERP systems, accounting systems, and various types of servers. And they collect this data in a standardized format. Then they send this data to a central database server in which the data is stored in a standardized format so that later on, users can view the data through a web page interface. And what does that home page look like? What does that web page look like? Well, here's a good example. In the very first column, you can see that we're tracking data from a variety of sources. You can see a host called localhost, another one called nylon.palisados.org. And then in the second column, you can see that it's tracking data for percentage CPU utilization from one of these servers. And in the very far column, you can see a link to a chart that will actually show you the data for that particular server over time. And what makes Pattoo so different? Well, as I mentioned before, it is flexibly designed to collect data from any available data source. And the standardized code, not just the standardized data format, simplifies writing custom data collection agents. And the data is stored in a very well proven MySQL database structure. Agents are available for Linux systems, for networking gear, gathering that data through SLMP, and electrical and mechanical gear using BACnet IP and Modbus TCP IP. All of these are protocols that are well-known industry standards, and Pattoo supports these and more. In 2020, we are hoping to have Pattoo also be extended to support Windows Server systems because they are very popular as well. And as it's going to be an open source project system, the software will be available for free. Where can you find Pattoo? Well, of course, on the GitHub account for the Palisados Foundation. Please visit to take a look and see what is available. We have Pattoo. We have the Pattoo web interface as a separate project. We have various types of standardized Pattoo agents that are there to show people how to create agents from scratch as templates. And what needs to be done? Well, on the very first screen that I showed you, in which you could see the home page with all the various types of data that was being able to be tracked, there was no ability to really search that data. It'd be interesting for us to be able to do that. There's no way to paginate the data at the moment. There's no way to go backwards and forwards with fixed amounts of pages each time, so you can't see 10 entries at a time or 20 entries at a time. You see everything all on the same page. It'd be nice to be able to have some way to scroll through pages one by one, just like you would through a search engine, for example. It'd be also interesting to be able to filter the data, filter it by source, filter it by data type, filter it by whatever other means that necessary. We would like to also be able to chart more than one line on each of these graphs so that it allows you to compare and contrast, because that is the power of what we want to do with Pattoo, being able to chart data from two different sources that normally wouldn't be able to be tracked together. We would like to have multilingual support, new agents for well-known systems, the ability to change the types of charts from bar to line to scatter, etc., and have administration screens that have some amount of security built in, such as username and passwords, or maybe even certificate-based authentication. Pattoo uses a variety of well-known technologies: Python, It's a well-known language that many students work on a day-to-day basis. And we also use GraphQL by Facebook, which is a way of getting data from a web page back and forth. And we also have D3 JavaScript libraries for presenting the data in the graphs that you have seen in the past. We have SQL Alchemy as a interface to various types of databases, such as MySQL and MariaDB. And we would like to be able to use the power of SQL Alchemy to be able to allow us to support other databases such as Postgres or SQLite. Pattoo also takes advantage of all the cores of your system using various types of multiprocessing tricks. And here are some sample projects you could try. You could try to track data from web page scrapes, in-house application development, internal business systems that have APIs, RESTful APIs, for example. And so it's a way in which you can track this data and present it for your own teams or even for your management teams to get a good idea of your IT infrastructure, your operational infrastructure. But don't be limited to that. It could be used for keeping track of business systems themselves. So, for example, if your ERP systems has an API uh, that can provide data, then that could be another source of data with a custom Pattoo agent according to the templates that we've created for you. Thank you very much for listening to the presentation on what Pattoo can do. If you would like to sponsor the Calico Challenge, please let us know. Contact us through our webpage on palisados.org. And if you're a student and are interested to learn more, please visit our website, palisados.org as well, /Calico. And the Pattoo projects and many other projects will be available there for you to see. Thank you very much, and we look forward to your participation.